Hello, Capricorn. Hope you folks are doing wonderful. Welcome back to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. It has been a very long time. We got the Spirit Animal Oracle deck in here, and I've got the Wildwood Tarot. I was making sure I put my cards back in the right direction after my last reading. I'm actually getting started with Capricorn today. Something just told me to start with you guys. I saw my mom today and she's a Capricorn, and I'm just feeling called to do a reading for this sign right now. So we're going to get started. Hope you folks have been doing wonderful. I know I already said that, but like seriously, it's been a long time. Let's get started. Let's do the Oracle card first. Let me put those over there. And let's get started with an Animal Oracle card just to start the reading, set the tone. What do your spirit guides, ancestors, and angels have to say? What are they trying to bring to you right now? Ooh. I'm not going to take all of those, but I am going to take the top card simply because I really felt like that was the sign. So, Chameleon Spirit, act as if. Put those right here. Nice. When it just moved that crystal, it was pointing to this purple fluorite, so I brought all this fluorite in, and I have danbarite around it. And of course, fluorite has many different colors in it. So this has got some purple, some green, and then I've got like a little blue fluorite right here. And it brought me back to all the colors in this card, and it was pointing out how, just like how a chameleon changes the color of its skin, you might be going through these different changes right now. And it's like, don't think of it so much as the color of your skin, but definitely almost like the color of your energy, like your vibe, your aura, right? There's very much this message that's saying you might have to change your colors every now and again. You have to kind of fluctuate between those different energies, and that's where the act as if comes in. You might not feel very purple or very blue or very green or whatever that emotion is. It kind of brought up synesthesia, how some people can hear colors and like see smells and stuff like that, right? It's kind of like that. It's like you might not be feeling purple or blue or green, but you kind of have to get into those vibes. And of course, speaking of colors is very much relating to chakras, certain levels of energies, where that energy comes from, right? So like green's always the heart chakra, purple's always the crown, etc. So it's like, it's talking about how your energy, almost like how it has to fluctuate between those different energy centers, which I'm definitely feeling more of that kind of upper chakra thing with the green, the blue, and the purple. It's like you're having to bounce between all of these. Thank you, Spirit. It's talking about like thought and logic versus like your heart, and then maybe the things you want to say. It's very much looking at it as like these upper chakras. And you're having a hard time figuring out like what exactly, like what move to make, what thought is right, what feeling is right, what exactly to say. And I think that's especially where you just need to act as if. Act as if you know what you're doing. Act as if you know what you're saying and thinking is right. It's not about like going overboard with your ego. It's more about that reassurance of self. It's like, even if you don't know what you're doing, woo, Spirit just spoke to me. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you do know what you're doing, right? It just brought something that I teach to my students. It's a lesson in one of our classes, and we talk about being an amateur, and the word amateur actually translates into the word lover, like a lover of whatever it is they're doing, right? And so that's the whole thing, is like people think of that word amateur and they think inexperienced and novice, naive even, ignorant, just uneducated on a certain subject. But That doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing, because the fact that you're trying to learn, like, that's enough. The fact that you're passionate or thinking about something, that's enough. So that's where you need to just act as if. It's okay if you're not experienced enough or where you need to be in order to really, like, hit some of these energies that you're being called to step into. It's okay to be an amateur. Just keep acting as if you know and are doing exactly what you're intending to do, right? Okay, Capricorn. It just got me shuffling. Oh, did you? I don't know if you saw it on camera, but I was just moving my hand and flipped this card out. So we'll take that card. I was gonna say, I think I want 6 for you guys. If I have to move some cards up in a minute, I will. Ooh, look at that top card over there sliding off the top of the pile. All right. So, you're meant to act as if. It feels like you're being called into a lot of different levels of energy to fulfill certain roles, do certain things. Let's see what this tarot message has to say, if it'll open up any more and explain some of the situation and what you need to be doing. Queen of Bows, the hair. Okay, so for some reason, and I was thinking about this recently, but look, this card definitely wants to be this Queen of Bows is a hare. I learned not too long ago that the name Buffy is in reference to a rabbit, so it just brought me Buffy, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I always thought that was weird that name kind of goes together, but it's really bringing me that. She, as a female archetype, definitely walks around at night doing patrol, right? That's what Buffy the Vampire Slayer does. She walks through the graveyard and she's on patrol. There is this kind of stone face here and her paws on it, and that's the whole thing. She's always waiting for the vampires to come up out of the ground, right? So there's kind of this energy here of like you're on patrol. For some of y'all just said Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol. Some of you are definitely moms. Some of you is not related to that at all. But there's something here. It's like her eye is wide open. It's like she can't sleep. She's very intense. And it's very powerful, but there's very much this sense of patrol. Woo, it just gave me a very specific episode from Buffy too, and it's where everyone loses their voice. Everyone is silent. Everyone loses their voice. And her watcher is like, Buffy goes on patrol tonight, and draws this cute little stick figure. So it was bringing me that too. We'll see if the silent part has anything to do with it later. But definitely there's like this really tense energy of being on patrol. And if you think of vampires as these obstacles, as something that's coming to drain you or take away from you, right? Just something that's not good for the situation you're trying to handle. That's the whole thing. It's like you keep waiting for stuff to pop up out of the ground, and like you got your eye on it so you can just slay it whenever it comes up. That you're definitely not relaxed is what I'm sensing. You're definitely not relaxed, Capricorn. Got the Sun card up here next, though. Let me sit with it for a second. Interesting. It brought me to these two stones in particular right here. And for some reason, it's kind of mentioning how his feet do not have to stand on this stone. So it's very much like he's free, like he's very free. And that's a little bit of a comparison it's bringing up right here. And it's not like, it's not jealousy. It's I'm trying to find the word. She's definitely looking over. This is a major arcana card. She's definitely looking over at all of this with the Sun card. And it's almost like, well, why does he get to stand and be so free in the middle of the day with all these beautiful flowers? Like, he ain't even got to stand on these stones to help keep them in their place. He just gets to do what he wants, is kind of what it's saying. And that's where it's almost like if she takes her paw off of this, like that face, like a vampire's gonna come up out of the dirt. And we do have this like horse drawing in the background on this, so there is this yet again this implication that's like there's something in the ground. And I'm not catching feelings of jealousy, but there's definitely this questioning energy of like, yo, why does this person or this energy get to stand around and be so free and so happy and just bask in all this glory and all this fun, while I gotta sit over here and be so serious and on patrol all the time and managing all these vampires, these things that keep popping up, right? That's really the emotion, the feeling that I'm getting off of this. There can be a little bit of envy here, but it's like not coming through strong, because the Queen of Bows is like, that's the Queen of Wands. She's really strong in her own card and her own power. So it's not so much of this like, oh, I want to take this happiness or this energy from someone. It's more like, how do I get that? And that's where we do have this comparison so far of feminine energy versus something that comes off and feels more masculine. Feminine energy is always the moon. Masculine energy is always the sun. So there is something there. It's like, why are we always getting the short end of the stick? If it's kind of looking at like that woman energy, it's like, why I always gotta be in the dark? Why I always gotta be on patrol? Why do I always have to hold the fort down while you get to go prance and play in a field, right? That's totally what we got right here. And something was just kind of like you're not looking at it the right way. And that's why I was saying this, it's really not this jealous energy. There is this wisdom coming off of this Queen of Wands. It's like, let me not get too heated over everything. Let me pause and observe. With the pause, man. I said, let me pause and observe everything. This person's really happy. This person is literally living their best life, is what it's saying with the Sun of Life card. Like, they are having a great time. What's up with that? How can I get a little slice of that heaven, right? And that's where someone was like, you're not looking at things the right way. I just noticed how this younger man resembles so much this older man. And with this Nine of Cups, specifically generosity in this deck, it's about giving away the energy that you can afford to give away and just understanding that it will all come back to you, right? Whether that's through like energy healing and spirit, or whether that is through literally like filling someone's plate, filling someone's cup, spending time with them. You know that like attracts like. You know that being generous in one way to someone in need, eventually that's going to come back and help serve you later. The universe will come support you when it is time. And so what it's saying here is maybe this is just this person's time to shine. So if you are feeling a little envious, and if you are feeling a little jealous, the universe is saying, number one, this person actually has put in a lot of work. It takes a long time to become an old man. So even though they might not be an older person, it's their time to shine. They have put in a lot of work. They have been putting forth the energy and the effort, and it is just returning to them because it is time. Now, you're not like totally excluded from this, Capricorn, but you feel like a very different energy. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you're in this, and then there's like all this bright energy. You're in the purples and blues and greens, and then there's all this. That's why you're having a hard time acting as if, because you're just, yeah, you're definitely like, you're in good energy, but it's a much different vibe from what's happening here. this card? Look at that. You got the Journey. You got the Death card underneath here. And it's almost just like, stop it, right? Like, stop. It said, like, stop being so doom and gloom. Not to discourage you from stepping out of this energy at the wrong time. What's happening underneath, again, with that moon, so your feminine energy for sure, your inner energy is going through an ending, some kind of death cycle. And I think it has everything to do with this tension and this questioning of like, well, when do I get to have some of this, right? It said heaven. When do I get to have some of this fun? When do I get to be happy like this? Right? And prance around in the sun. Even this bird is standing on a head, standing on a head. It just gave me the Cheshire Cat. Can you stand on your head? Like a March hare, a mad hare, right? That's what I'm saying. Like there's some intensity coming off of these cards over here, and this moon just implies that it is your feelings, your feminine energy, your inner self. If you are a woman, then this is for sure you. And it keeps pointing out these golden eyes right here, and they keep kind of looking over this way. And so it's like you're eyeing things that you feel you deserve. And maybe someone else is also getting what they deserve at this time. And you're kind of watching yourself because you notice those feelings of like jealousy or envy or anger kind of flaring up. And that's why this is what's really happening. You are observing and feeling and kind of mulling over this and thinking, because you know that what's internally happening is like you're letting go of some stuff that like old energy, old baggage, maybe it's old anger and old tension. You just can't help it. Sometimes people get stuff and you think you also deserve that thing, and you do. It's just like maybe not the right time. And so you're trying to kind of like cool it off and like bring it down and just realize that this you're kind of like picking yourself apart a bit, and I feel like it's more in that good way. It's like there's something you got to get to the bottom of here. You're after this Sun card, you're after this happiness, and you're like trying to figure out why you feel this way, like why you can't quite get into the vibe, right? Whoa, oh damn. Okay, Spirit just talked. Yeah, so this card is literally labeled jealousy. And we were saying, oh, it's not jealousy, oh, it's not envy. When I flipped this card and it said that, something was like, maybe you're in a little bit of denial. So this is where you have to just sit with yourself and go, am I in denial? Am I envious? Am I jealous? If you feel like the answer is truly yes, then I think this card just explains it. It's like maybe you were not admitting that you're envious. Look at all this fire coming off of this Three of Arrows. It matches the fire coming off of the sun. It matches all of this. That's what I mean. It's like you can definitely feel that fire in your heart, and you're trying not to label it as jealousy, but the deck just flipped that card over and was like, yeah, but it is. It's jealousy. Like at its core, it's jealousy. So the question, Capricorn, what are you jealous of? And maybe that's why acting as if, here's the thing. It said it's not wrong. Okay, woo, it's just talking, yeah. It said it is not wrong for you to want to change your colors. Women get tired of doing the same thing, especially if like you're stuck in some kind of role where it's like you always watching the kids or making sure that, right, all these little obstacles, all these things that keep popping up, like you always the one putting them back to bed, putting things to rest, patrolling. I feel like that tension and that tiredness, and yeah, a little bit of this kind of like fire energy. It's like you just know like that has to stop, because it's kind of like being in a bad mood. It's like you're just being way too intense, and you don't necessarily want to be like that. What Spirit is trying to show you is that at the root, there's a little bit of this jealousy energy that needs to be addressed. Whoa, Capricorn, yes, that makes sense. It was talking about how like these flames here, it's almost like they're fanning the flames of the sun. Some people, whoa, Some people, they suck up all that energy, and they don't care if it's good or negative energy, right? They kind of feed on all of it. And that's one thing that Spirit's pointing out to you, is like your own jealousy and envy might be helping to fuel this person's happiness and pride. And like, I'm not getting a totally negative energy off this card, but it is pointing out how the sun can burn you, right? The sun can burn you when it's too intense. So that's what it's saying. It's almost like your negative energy, it's heat rises, right? And that's the whole thing, is rising this up. And so it's just kind of like you keep feeding your energy towards someone or something that you don't actually want to see, in a way. You don't want to see this other person rise up and be successful, but because your energy is focused on them, it is just building them up and pushing them up and making them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which is a positive for them. And that's where, at the end of the day, this message is kind of like, maybe you should just be happy for them. You know, maybe they honestly did put in some hard work. Maybe they are honestly getting what they deserve. Maybe you shouldn't be so jealous or envious, because actually your energy is doing the opposite of what you want to see, which is it's building them up even more. In the more negative way, right? Some people can be like, I love my haters because they give me views and they give me this and they give me that and all that stuff, right? Me personally, I ain't about collecting people's hate. So I prefer the love, for sure. What's the 6th card here? I'm just saying that's kind of the dynamic it's pointing out. So we have the Journey, which is the Death card. We have this jealousy in the middle, but then here is the actual grave site. This is a, you know, makeshift mausoleum. You have to step over the threshold to go into the tomb. The secret is, with this Judgment card, that on the other side, there's beautiful, glorious things awaiting you. So what this is saying is, I like that. It said your happiness, Capricorn, your happiness did not die. Your happiness did not die. It wasn't shot in the heart. It's not shot down. It's kind of like, because of some things you've been through, some of your own energy is really fanning the flames for someone else. And maybe it's just their time to shine. You've got to learn to let go of some of this tension and energy. You do need a life change. Look at all this beautiful, warm, golden energy. And you're just kind of hanging out in this doom and gloom. You do need a shift of energy. And that's where I feel like this Great Bear, this doorway, this Judgment card is like, are you ready to let go of this? Because envy and jealousy is not getting you anywhere. Thank you. Brought it back to Buffy. It's talking about how Buffy has a very serious job, right? She's the Slayer. She doesn't get to have a regular life. She doesn't get to do all the regular stuff that teenage girls get to do or young women get to do. She's always off doing practice, target practice. She's always off shooting things down, keeping monsters in the ground, making sure stuff stays dead, right? Patrolling the cemetery. And meanwhile, some other people, like her Watcher's always giving her the knowledge and the tools that she needs and everything. But at the end of the day, he's not a Slayer. He gets to walk around and have a normal life. And that's where she does get envious and jealous and angry sometimes, because everyone will be like, la da da, I'm just a regular person. And it's like, I gotta go out and patrol tonight. So there's something here that's saying, like, are you ready to let go of all that energy? It's kind of like acceptance. Like, can you accept the role that you're in? Are you ready to accept who you are? And let some of this envy and anger kind of go, because it's supporting people in the wrong way. It's just helping to rebuild a lot more of your jealousy and envy. It's not giving you the happiness and things that you want. And it's just time to step through a new door. It's time to focus on something else. So acting as if it doesn't totally get you anywhere. Maybe it's time to come back to accepting who you are. But there's also nothing wrong with trying something new if you're kind of feeling like you should. Now this card here really wanted to pop out and really wanted to talk. So let's see what this final 7th card is. This is kind of like your final little lucky message here. 10 of Arrows. That was a really nice message. With the 10 of Arrows here, ooh, it gave me a double message. Gave me a double message. So number 1, I wanted to point out how these are your ancestors, and they're helping you to aim this bow and arrow, and very much like how Buffy's always practicing so that when she goes out in the field, she can actually, you know, slay like she needs to. It's kind of the same thing. It's like you have ancestors and guides and angels literally guiding you. And they are helping you kind of with this target practice. They're explaining that you're very much still in this kind of training mode. Like you must do certain things a certain way. You're practicing for some reason. And that's where it's like the future is yet to be revealed. You might not know why you're going through everything that you're going through right now, why you're doing certain things, why you got to be stuck in this position while everyone else gets to go play, and You might not understand why it's got to be that way. It will come, that kind of energy and situation will come to an end soon with this 10 of Arrows. On the double side, it was talking about how, with this coming up under here, it's like someone is shooting arrows into you. And I don't necessarily think that they're working alone. This is overall a positive. Like this is a 10 of Swords. In this deck, it's overall very positive. It's usually just very much about family and passing down knowledge and generations and everything like that. But in a way, that's where it's saying like some of this envy, some of this denial, some of this anger comes down through you from your own life. But also if someone else is kind of I very much feel like there's someone else involved. It's like someone's been guiding them too. And if they are making some kind of move to show off and like kind of piss you off or something like that, it's very much saying like they're not alone. Like they are being guided to do this too. Woo. And that's where it said woo, that message, y'all. And that's where it said everything happens for a reason. Even the negative stuff happens for a reason. Sometimes you need a little prompt to get you going, right? And that's where it's like, if someone's shooting you, are you going to stand here and do this? No. Maybe it's time to kind of step through this door and go do something else. Maybe there's something really nice waiting for you on the other side too. And again, you know that like attracts like, so it's kind of like, this is old news. This is wrapping up. I know my guides are guiding me. I just feel like I don't need to stay in this energy or on this path anymore. It's time for me to move forward. And that's what they want you to do. You are practicing, you are slaying, you're also very tired, and it's time to go through that door because it's time to move on to some happier, different energy. And that's what I got for you, Capricorn. That was a nice long reading for you. I wish you lots of luck in making any shifts and changes. Let me know how it resonates. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe as you see fit. And I'll see you all in the next batch. Thank you.